Good afternoon, guys, and happy Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving to all of your sunshiny faces. Excuse my hair, guys. I wore it down today, but I'm just tired and ended up in the living room after we got home from Thanksgiving. And they had like a Marvel movie marathon, and me and Jack watched the end of Iron Man 3. Matthew stayed up for that. Then he fell asleep at the start of the Avengers, and me and Jack sat through the entire thing. So we were up for like quite some time afterwards, but I am exhausted. I woke up, I went to bed not super late last night. I actually don't really know what time I fell asleep, but then ended up waking up about 9 o'clock so we could watch the parade. We had some like appetizers sort of and things like that. Not really, even though, like, we mainly just actually had the leftovers that my mom made with our turkey and everything like that on Tuesday, and then also like leftover mac and cheese that we made on Tuesday, yeah. And then also like my mom made sort of a big-ish breakfast. She ended up making like that monkey bread, sort of like French toast in the crock pot, and then cinnamon rolls, and there was another thing she made. Oh, like I forget what it's called, some type of like orange bread or something like that. I'm not totally sure, but we ended up having that while we watched also the Bears game, which was then on at like 11:30, and then once that was over, shortly after that, we ended up going over to my aunt's house at about maybe 3, no, I think we were in the car by 4 o'clock, I know, and it only takes maybe about like 15 minutes to get to her house, so like 15 to 20 minutes, so like I said, we were there, you know, probably before 4:30. But then we ended up, it was so like nice, and it was so different too, because it was just like my aunt and uncle who were like hosting, and then their daughter, my cousin, and then my aunt's mom, my other aunt. And so that was, you know, there was only like 4 extra people plus our family of 5, so it was actually only 9 people we ended up celebrating Thanksgiving with. So it was a pretty small like Thanksgiving, but it was really nice. My aunt had her house set up so cute. They have 2 fireplaces, like one in the which, as long as they have lived in that house, they've lived in that house since before I was born. I've seen my aunt, she's put candles normally in the like fireplace in their living room, sort of, or like sitting room. And like I've always seen them in there, but I've never seen them lit. And then they actually had a fire in their fireplace, which again, I have never ever, like in all of my years that I've been alive, and they have lived there like for parties and stuff like that. We've never, like, because they host Easter, and I feel like because they actually host it normally and they have both sides of their family, so like my aunt's side and then also my uncle's side, which my aunt's side is my side of the family, and so like it's normally like a really like sort of big party, and then sometimes my aunt will wind up throwing a party either for my cousin for her birthday, or my other cousin and uncle, who's are both in the same month. My one cousin's in the summer, and then my other cousin and my uncle's I think are both in October. And so it's like if they do wind up having a fire, they normally like do a bonfire outside because it's still like nice enough. Like I remember doing that a bunch of years, but like I said, it was like, and they've hosted Christmas maybe a couple times, but I never remember them ever having a fire in their fire pit. Like I actually didn't even know that it really worked. And so today when we were in there, I was just like, this is like so like, I don't know, it was just like so cozy and so small, and like I've only been over at their house like sort of randomly, like if there were like wasn't like, you know, like other people like invited, like if it was just like, oh, my aunt was babysitting us or something like that. Like it was never like for like a party actually, and like a smaller party like that too. And oh my goodness, it was just so fun. So and then my aunt ended up leaving like shortly after, which was actually still pretty late. It was like maybe about 8 o'clock, because we did Thanksgiving dinner actually sort of later, just because like my cousin had to work, and then like we ended up, you know, sort of cooking, warming up all the food and everything like that too. So like I said, by the time we got there, like I know most people eat Thanksgiving dinner at like 1 o'clock. But we were going to do it late this year again so that my cousin was going to be able to be there. But by the time we were done with like dessert, and then we also were celebrating mine, both of my aunts' birthdays as well, we, you know, like by that time it was actually I think like 8 o'clock or something like that already. So my one aunt was gonna go home, and then it was just me, you know, like our family, and then my aunt and uncle who were hosting, and then their daughter, my cousin, who ended up leaving around the same time as us, but didn't leave until about 10 o'clock. Like that's how long we were there, and we were like playing games and, you know, just like talking. It was just like such a fun, like I said, like small intimate party that like we normally don't wind up having. Like, you know, like I said, it seems like a lot of times it's like bigger, and we'll invite like more extended family. Like my aunt, my grandma's sister, and it will also be my grandma, but again, she's not here anymore. So like my grandma's cousin, she comes to a lot of family parties, so like sometimes again there's like extra people, and then my other aunt and uncle and their 4 kids couldn't end up coming. So, you know, and this is also the first Thanksgiving without my uncle, my aunt's husband. My other cousin is out of state at work, so he wasn't able to come. And so, like I said, it was just like, there was like a lot of people that like, you know, weren't able to come and stuff like that. And originally, we were either, my mom had originally invited just my aunts because she thought like, oh, that everybody sort of already had plans and just wanted to find out if like, you know, she didn't, because like I said, a lot of times it's like my aunt and uncle will sometimes, not all the time, it's sort of the same as us, like some years we'll have it on actual Thanksgiving that we celebrate with family, and then other years we'll wind up having on like Friday or sometimes Wednesday, you know, like something like that, and so we're like Saturday, Sunday, whatever. And so like I said, this year was, my aunt was like, like I said, aunt that was hosting Thanksgiving, sort of found out that like we didn't all really have plans, and like we sort of thought that they were going to wind up going over to like my uncle's side of the family, because sometimes they do that also. So and my mom was like, you know, we didn't know like what was going on entirely either too. So when we all sort of found out like we didn't have plans, you know, nobody was actually going anywhere, that's when we sort of just gathered up all the family and we're sort of like, yeah, let's get together and celebrate Thanksgiving. So like I said, it was just like a very like unique sort of, like I said, small atmosphere sort of party. It was like very nice too, because again, like a lot of times Thanksgiving, like you wind up actually being stuck in front of the TV watching like, you know, the football games and stuff like that, because there's not enough like seating at like, you know, the dining table or like, you know, whatever, like because our family is pretty big, so like it's almost like no matter like how big the dining table, unless it's like stinking huge, but nobody in our family has like a dining table that's that big to accommodate as many people as we a lot of times have for like big holidays. We normally just again wind up like in front of the TV or sitting in like the kitchen tables and stuff like that. At really sort of any of the houses that we wind up having Thanksgiving or Christmas or like any of those type of things at, but because it was so small, we were able to have like everything on the china, the nice china at the dining table, which was so nice, because I was like, I don't think that I have ever really eaten off of, like my aunt had like her like nice china out too. I was like, this is like such a fancy party. Like, and I told you guys too, our family parties are normally so informal and stuff like that, but this was just like I mean, nobody really cared. It wasn't like, oh, you have to be fancy and everything like that, but it just felt like so like nice and sort of different, like I said, than like anything that we normally do. And just felt very special. So like I said, that's definitely gonna be a Thanksgiving that has stuck out in my mind too, and just like the fun afterwards too, because it wasn't like trying to gather up all these people to try and like, you know, do like a game or something like that. It was just like a very small, like, you know, we played games and stuff, you know, the sort of thing that was again pretty fun. So I had such a lovely Thanksgiving. And then again, when we got home, we just, everybody, my parents I think actually just went to bed. My dad was honestly starting to fall asleep, I think, while we were still there, like one point right after, especially after the turkey. But yeah, it was, you know, it was definitely a very fun day. And we are going to get to the Christmas stuff tomorrow, and got a couple other things on the list. It's so weird though. My aunt and uncle both said it. They were like, today felt like Sunday, and I was like, I felt the exact same way. Like I woke up, my parents are home, like we ended up watching football. I was like, it felt like a Sunday to me. And it was not. It was Thursday only. We have like 3 more days pretty much of the weekends for people being home to get things done, which is awesome. So anyways guys, I will see you all on tomorrow's vlog. Hopefully be able to share with you guys some of the Christmas stuff we wind up doing, but I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up, and I will see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.